Unmasking your true habits and what they reveal about you.
Yeah, why do they matter? Why does it matter if we sort of consciously become aware of our habits?
Yeah, why? What are habits? Why?
What are habits?
What are habits? Habits are something we do habitually. Every
Yes,
day.
without really being conscious of them at all.
Yeah,
Most
it's
of the
just
time, they're just
automatic, isn't
repetitive
it?
actions that we take or repetitive thoughts that we think. And they have an ability to actually
Make or break us,
make
I
or
would say.
break us. Yeah, because conscious habits actually do create empowerments. If we build some conscious habits that we're totally aware of, that are going to help us, they actually make us feel empowered.
Well, like the 10,000 step a day thing.
Well, yeah, because they exactly.
That has become my habit, and I
Really,
make sure
yeah,
to tick
that's
that off.
yes, tick it off. I mean, I that was supposed to be my habit, but I haven't quite got round to perfecting it. But I am much more conscious of how many steps I do take,
So,
and I try and do it.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's what we're going to be talking about in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters.
Mind, Health and Anxiety. Come and watch us on YouTube too, where we have the video version and the podcast version. And listen wherever you get your podcasts, and please do send us a text or comment. Come and see us on Instagram. We would love if you would make that a habit.
Yes, and we are therapists, so we are very happy to be able to help you. So if you want to chat with us or just send us a message
Or book a session.
or book a session, yes. But if you just want a chat, I mean, you can just write to us, and it's completely free of charge. So there's no worries there.
No worries.
No worries at all. We're happy to help you. So what we were saying, that becoming aware of our habits gives us a power to actually choose differently.
And
Every small intentional change sends a message to our brain, doesn't
this
it?
has become a habit of the 10,000 steps, and I'm very grateful for it, because before I used to think I wasn't sedentary until this happened. Because I used to think I move around a lot, but like in the wrong way.
yeah.
Whereas now I make an effort to go for a walk or play golf or do something which will get me those steps, or go on the treadmill.
And you actually get 10,000 every day.
Yeah, more really.
Wow. Yeah.
So
I forgot about that.
I hit my fitness levels every day, or double or quadruple them. I mean, I've only put 30 minutes in to make it easy for myself.
Yeah, I do that with the a movement. It always says, "Oh, you've done really well with movement." I mean, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get down to that more now. Now that I've heard about it, even further, I'm going to do it more. So yes, I think that's why they create empowerment, because they're conscious habits, and they become, once you become so used to doing your 10,000 steps that you're not bothered about it anymore. It's like every morning drink a glass of water. Like I do that now. Every morning I drink a large glass of water and I'll put some lemon juice in it.
Me too.
That's become a conscious habit, and I'll miss it if I don't do it. But I'm fully aware that I'm doing it, and it's something I'm doing for my health and to create.
Do you think that sets you up for a healthy day?
Well, of course it does. Well, it keeps me hydrated, and then it's a healthy,
It's a healthy habit.
Yeah, it's a healthy habit, exactly. Because habits, habits
can be healthy or unhealthy.
Exactly. So you want to have a healthy habit. I mean, habits always reflect what our beliefs are about as well, don't they?
Well, I wouldn't have thought so, but apparently they do.
Well, the small repetitive actions that we take every day are often rooted in what we believe about ourselves and the world. For example, if you avoid social situations a lot, that might reflect that you have a belief that you're not good enough to be there, for example, and that could fuel, you could be fueling social anxiety, because you might find that you're always avoiding these kind of things. And that's a habit that can, show what you believe in yourself.
What you believe about yourself.
Yeah, what you believe about yourself. That's a tricky one.
What would you have to do? How would you break that habit? You'd have to make a conscious effort.
You'd have to take a conscious effort and make, like what you were saying before, since you've become aware of that habit, and now you know that you're often doing, oh no, no thanks, I'm not going there, or you're avoiding certain situations, you can take a more, may have a good look at it and decide that
You've been more proactive about it.
Yeah.
And say, I will go.
You can
force yourself to go to these things.
Well, not, I mean...
Well, yeah, like force yourself to say, look,
Sometimes...
I realise this is a negative habit. It's impacting my life negatively.
Yes.
I am going to override this habit now. Like making a conscious effort to say, no, I will go, even if it's only for 20 minutes. I'll show my face.
Done.
Or I'll go into the kitchen and stay by the kettle or whatever.
Exactly. That's what I was meaning. By social situations, it doesn't necessarily mean going to a party. It just means, all the colleagues are over there by the coffee machine. Mm. And I normally don't do that. I go off and I go somewhere else, or I sit in somewhere else. So no, I'll make a conscious effort of going there. Why aren't I doing this? Why aren't I joining the group? Is it because I have a belief that I've got nothing valid to say? Or you have to analyse why you're doing. Obviously, if you say, I'm not going there because I don't like any of them, and they have a horrible, boring conversation, then of course that's a different situation. What we're saying here is that habits can reveal certain things that if you're one of these people, you might realize, yes, that's what I do. Yeah. And I do it because I have that feeling that I'm not good enough to join that particular group, where I think if you take a good look, you are good enough. You're just the same as all of them. Absolutely. Every single other person in that group has the same kind of insecurities, or very similar, even though they don't appear to have them. They might be more confident about one thing.
Remember when we first started going to the gym, and then everyone would gather outside smoking?
Yes, exactly.
And we would always feel left out because we didn't smoke. And we would feel as if we were like imposing if we went outside as well and like had a chat with them.
Yes.
But in the end, we realised that if we didn't go outside, even though we didn't smoke, we would miss out on all these nice conversations with people and socialising.
And socialising, I do remember that. Yeah, that was distinct. In the end, we started going out, sort of staying a bit further away. Smoking was less taboo in those days, but it was still like
Well, it was when it first started that in Italy you weren't allowed to smoke inside, so people would go outside. But what happened is that a lot of the interactions that you would have inside were missing.
Suddenly cut off.
Everyone would just go outside all the time.
And then have all these chats and laughs. They'd be all laughing and chatting, and you think, we're missing out on that. Because in the end, they became our group of friends. But since they were always smoking outside, so what did we do? We joined them, didn't we?
We joined them eventually when we realised it. That we were missing out.
Yeah.
Because it was a habit they had. They'd just go outside for a smoke and everyone would join them. And we would be left inside without anyone to talk to.
But at least we weren't getting the passive smoke.
There was it was outside, so you could stand away. You didn't have to, and they would be discreet. They'd blow it away and that. But yes, it wasn't. We don't like smoking, so it was a nuisance for us. But you have to weigh up the benefits. It was more of a hindrance to be left out of the group and not have any fun or talk to anyone.
Yes, it was indeed, yeah.
You have to weigh the benefits against the, see what outweighs it, if it outweighs one outweighs the other or not.
Yeah, because habits can expose your comfort zones, can't they?
Well, they definitely expose them.
Because
you want to stay in the same comfort zone. Yes. You don't want to do anything. So, like, for instance, if your friend wants to travel or your partner and you're used to being at home all the time and a homebody, and you might say, I'm not bothered.
Yeah,
but then you miss out on a whole load of things.
Yeah, because they want to keep you in your familiar territory, don't they? Repeating that same habit. I was
thinking, like, I didn't want to go to India because of all the monkeys there.
What do you mean monkeys? I mean, they're not all
monkeys in the streets, aren't there?
Well, I've been many times, and I just remember the beauty of the place.
You do remember the beauty, but I was thinking if I was there and that,
You're the monkey. I don't know about the monkeys.
I wouldn't want to get attacked by a monkey.
Oh,
I saw
come
a
on.
video.
No,
they can be
yes,
violent.
in the temples and things like that.
Exactly.
Yes, but you don't. I mean, come on. If you go into the city, you know, you're fine.
There's monkeys in the
Yeah,
city.
but not very many. They mostly hang out in these, you know, old temples and things. There are a few. Obviously, you don't, you know, you be a little bit more careful. You take the precautions, don't you? You have to be careful with your phone because they can light the phone as well now.
They want to steal your food and your phone and
the food they've always wanted to steal. I remember that, you know, it's like, but I mean, yeah, you have to be careful, but is that really going to stop you? That's like a joke. Is it going to stop you from visiting
Well, it would put me off.
beautiful country of India?
It would put me off. I'd have to fight against that.
You'd have to fight because it's not familiar for you to have monkeys. Yeah, you would think, no, you know, I don't want to go there. I mean, I used to go for work, so now basically I would think, well, I'd have to pay for my own ticket. It'd be, out familiar for me as well. I wouldn't want to go there either.
But that's not good, is it?
No, it's definitely not good. No.
That's why we have to fight against these kind of things.
The habits,
habits
just
and
easy things. You know, you become
comfort zones.
You become more and more used to your comfort zone and less.
Because it's very enriching in the end. Like what you said, if you just take the precautions not to go where there's
Oh,
loads of
yes.
monkeys.
You just put everything away and you make sure you keep like your backpack and you don't leave it on the back. You put it on the front where you can hold it. You just cross your arms or something. I'm sure they're not going to be that dramatic. I mean, it's like, obviously, if you're eating an ice cream or you've got a sandwich, banana, you've got, you know, you're actually eating something or you've got, they're playful, aren't they? So they'll come and...
I think I would scream.
Yeah, I think most of us would probably scream. Especially knowing us, we'd probably definitely scream. But I don't think that's going to be, you know, a major issue. But this is one of the ridiculous examples
This is just
saying...
a stupid thing I'm saying now.
Yes.
'Cause I'm just being a bit fickle.
You are being fickle,
I'm
but...
being a bit of a, what's it called? But just being a bit funny.
Silly,
about it.
yeah.
A bit silly, but
It's a laugh.
But it's
The reasons, it's like, why don't you want to go to Egypt again? Because last time we went to Egypt, we got ill with the
bug.
The bug, yeah, the what's it called? The Egyptian bug or something. It's like a joke. You get this severe diarrhea, and you don't.
Vomiting as well. It was very.
I didn't actually get that. Oh, you know, your daughter got the high fever, didn't she? Yeah.
It puts you off these kind of.
But then it's so beautiful.
I know.
So you've got to sort.
And I've got those memories to treasure, but I wouldn't do it again though.
Yeah, but I was just talking to my brother-in-law yesterday. He said, I've just come back and it's absolutely amazing.
But do you remember we went and we did that scuba diving on the reef? And
beautiful.
how beautiful that was. But now I would be frightened to do that now. Because I know the danger.
This is turning into a comedy podcast. You know the dangers. Yeah, but we were quite safe. We were before the barrier.
No, we were.
I mean, we were just scuba diving. We weren't. People think we're down there with our big.
But we were over the barrier reef. So
no,
it was
no. We were just before the barrier reef.
The barrier,
we did not go
we went
beyond.
into the deep sea. We did. It was deep sea. It was deep ocean.
Wasn't there somebody with us though?
Our husbands. No one that could protect you.
And the kids.
Jellyfish.
Oh, the jellyfish. They started following us. Gosh.
And now that I see these videos, maybe because there's so many videos around of animals attacking people. Like yesterday, I watched one of this seal pulled a little girl. She was just on the pier, just sitting there, and a seal came up and pulled her into the sea.
What for? Just to play?
To play, play for whatever. And the father immediately jumped in and got her out.
God, what kind of videos are you watching? I see these gorgeous videos of... Yeah, that's wise, your son, because the other day I saw a beautiful video of a dolphin saving a man or something. Well, you know, come on. It's perspective, isn't it? You're watching... Yeah, your son is obviously feeling a bit anxious now and he's showing you all these videos. I don't know what he's doing, but anyway.
He's trying to make me anxious.
Yeah. In the end, but what the habits do is they expose your comfort zone. So you can become aware of them. You can know, right, I'm becoming very habitudinary. Is that what it's?
Very set in my ways.
Yeah, very set in my ways now, and I'm always doing the same things. That's why I don't want to do that. You know, if you're aware of it.
I say that to myself.
Me too.
But then I say, yeah, like if you're used to doing something all the time with someone else or doing something together, then you don't want to do it on your own, maybe.
No.
No, I'm used to going to places with you.
Yeah,
If I
yeah.
have to go on my own, I don't like it.
It causes
as much.
more anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah, you say, oh no, I have to go there, and oh,
I'm
you
used to being
can't.
part of a team now.
Yes, yeah. When you're used to it, yes,
So
obviously.
you obviously have to fight against that, I think. You
Yeah.
have to make a conscious effort of saying, no, okay, but
I'm used to this. This is a habit for me to go with somebody, but today I'm going to have to do this alone, and I'm going to sort of, become aware of the habit, and you're going to have to break it.
Yeah.
Sometimes because you can't always keep it, can you? Habits do reveal how we cope in life in general, yeah. Whether it's scrolling endlessly or emotional eating, or constant multitasking, many habits are unconscious, coping mechanisms. That's what they are for stress, fear, and overwhelm. So, yes, they do indeed reflect how we cope. We know that if we're just scrolling like that, we might be feeling overwhelmed or something. We're trying to find a distraction. Or if we suddenly say, oh, I want to eat, all these comfort foods. Why? I think if we become aware of them, we can know more, can't we?
So yeah, if you want to eat lots of comfort foods, you might think I'm feeling a bit anxious now, and you go for a walk instead.
Yes.
And you can break that habit, can't you? Or you can break the habit of having lots of comfort foods in the house if they're bad for you. Because if it's a plate of pasta,
That's fine. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're
or
talking
banana.
No, banana again. Yeah.
Because bananas are like my comfort
Yeah,
food.
me too, actually.
They've got magnesium in them.
It's funny because yesterday on the way to work, I actually said to my husband, I haven't had a banana for about 2 days. Should we stop off and buy some bananas? And he was like, yeah, I miss the bananas. And
See, that's why we don't want to go anywhere near monkeys.
Because you're possessive about your bananas. Oh my gosh. Yeah. They do. What another thing habits do is they show our priorities, don't they? They definitely, even if they're unintentional. We have our priorities, and we know, like we might say mental health is important, but if our daily habits don't support that rest and reflection or nourishment, we may be living out of alignment without realizing it.
Yeah, I think loads of us do that.
Yeah. So we say one thing,
but we're not congruent.
Yes. So our habits actually do reveal what we prioritize. We might be saying, yes, it's really important for me. It's really important for me to do that. But then do we really do it?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We don't do it, do we?
I do.
Do you?
Oh. They do. Yeah. Well, they reveal our priorities on how I cope. I think yes. Why do you say they don't for you?
Because I think a lot of the times we say we have like habits that are productive or that, but then we actually do the opposite. Like we procrastinate a lot. And we do things but we say, oh no, we're really high function.
Is that what you say? Is that what you say? You're really high functioning, and then you do the opposite, and you go off and not do it. Right. No,
you might go and sit on the settee and watch some Netflix or something. I just think it's important to become aware of it, is what I'm saying, because a lot of the times they're not in line with that. So we might think we're really healthy. Like when I used to think I was really healthy and fit, and my daughter said, you're sedentary. I got the fright of my life because I said, I'm not sedentary. I'm always doing gardening or walking around or doing something, putting the fire on. Working, I'm always up and down doing things. And she said, yeah, but that's not being that's not an active lifestyle. You're not even
I
doing
remember when
10,000
she said that.
steps a day.
And
I said, what? 10,000 steps? That's a joke.
That's like a joke.
That's so many.
And yet now it's your
Now
habit
it
is to
doesn't seem
prioritize that. You do
now
prioritize
I do
it.
now. But what I mean is a lot of the times we make this movie in our head about how our lives are. And then when you actually go and analyse and you look through your day, you see it's all it's the opposite. It's the opposite of what you think of yourself.
Yeah, and you know that habits do actually impact how our brain is wired. No, because the
Well, it
more
doesn't
you
surprise
repeat,
me.
the more you repeat something,
Yeah.
neuroscience tells us this, that, habits strengthen certain neural pathways.
Well, if you become more confident,
Yes.
if you become more active, you're going to be like, you're going to feel better about yourself, aren't you? You're going to be more confident. It's going to
Or it could also be, the more you engage in anxious thinking or avoidance behaviors, the more your brain will just naturally default to
That's
them.
why I say we have to force ourselves against this kind of thing.
We have to cut that neurowiring and say,
because our brains will want to go and do what we are used to, what our habits tell us. That's why we want to have a cup of tea at 5:00 or our coffee in the morning.
Absolutely.
So we have to say, is coffee good for us? I think it is, so I'll have one. But if it wasn't good, like when I had high blood pressure and I was not on my meds, I said I cut coffee out.
Yeah.
So you have to think, is it good for me? Is it okay to have it? Is it productive for me? Yes, and then or no.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have become used to having, like, you can become used to having these anxious thoughts, and you can sort of feel comfort in them. And it's odd to say that, but you don't, like, you're almost scared of just thinking, well, what would I do if I didn't have those? Your brain goes,
what would happen if?
Yeah, what would happen if I didn't always have to feel anxious? What would happen if I didn't always expect the worst to happen to me? What would happen if I can just be calm?
I think a lot of the times with anxiety is because we have our imaginations are too vivid. So we develop scenarios that don't even come true half the time.
Yes, so true.
So we make up these little films in our mind about something that's going to go wrong when it probably never will.
Exactly. And that's a habit, isn't it? And that's one that the more we do, the more we get better at doing. So we've got to become aware of it and think.
And become aware of making up of a scenario that's positive.
Yeah, like you're doing, like the 10,000 steps, or becoming mindful and thinking, okay, I'm going to break that habit of anxious thinking just for today. And I'm going to start thinking, no, that's not necessarily going to happen. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to have a good day. It's not all going to be bad,
Well, it makes you feel amazing when you start talking to yourself like that.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that, internal dialogue is a habit of how you talk to yourself.
Yeah, what you focus on, how you respond, how you respond to all the mistakes that you make as well, the feedback that you can get from them. Instead of because the thing about anxiety is you can either feed it or you can soothe it,
or embrace it.
Or well done, yeah. Clever clogs here. You can embrace it and understand it and just say, that's actually better, because you're embracing it and saying, look, I know why. Me too. I know why I'm feeling like this. Thank you, brain, for making me become aware that there is a potential situation that I have to, navigate. She's giving me all the words here. That I have to navigate today, and I will navigate it, but I want to navigate it feeling strong and empowered without having to feel weak and anxious. And that's how I want to navigate my day, feeling strong.
Exactly.
And in control, not just thinking my mind is going to go off and worry about monkeys coming to steal my
bananas.
Yeah, bananas or my phone, like what you were saying before, because the brain is a bit like a wild monkey.
Yeah.
It can go off and be...
They say it's called the monkey brain, isn't it?
They do actually, yeah, I've heard of the monkey brain. Yeah, it's like never calm, always, jumping around. I think that's...
When you have amygdala, when you're not, you just like fight
all the time, yes. So if you start observing your internal dialogue, you can start shaping it, can't you? That's what we do. That's how we learn to stay calmer.
Well, that's what really helped us.
Yeah, so much.
I mean, it was a light bulb moment, wasn't it?
Well, also, yeah, definitely.
It becomes is when you become mindful of how your brain works and how how you're thinking, how you
You
your
suddenly
patterns
can-
of thought. You can like disassociate and look at yourself and think, well, is that realistic? Is it true? No, it's not. I'm not. I'm coming from a place of fear instead of a place of calm, and it's very calming and soothing. Really, it really
Yeah,
helps.
you can ask yourself, is this just a limiting belief? Once I learned about limiting beliefs, that they were just beliefs that actually aren't real. They're just things that are based on things that have happened to you in your life. Somebody said, yeah, a grade that you got at school, something, and it's not really real at all. And you just suddenly believe that about yourself.
Yeah.
It compounds over time, so you can change that.
You can
Yeah.
change a lot of things, and you can make your habits help you and be successful. You can have success with the habits that you create.
Well, yes, because they can also sort of like. I mean, I'm laughing here, but it's quite. No, because habits can mask also some other more serious.
Serious problems.
Well, yeah, it's nothing funny really,
No,
but they
I'm
can
just
mask.
thinking of the
Yes,
monkey still.
that's what I'm thinking of. Sorry, yeah.
But they can mask serious problems. Like if you have a fear of, say, traveling, you can have that fear is not just one fear; it's generalized into other areas of your life.
Exactly.
And it's like sneaky.
It's
so
sneaky,
You might
yes.
also have a fear of lifts, for example, or you might have a fear of doing new things. So
There might be this deeper reason. It's a wound. Why are you behaving in a certain way?
Yeah.
Why do I have this habit? If you become curious about yourself, you can start unmasking it and thinking, oh yeah,
Going to the root of the problem.
yeah, maybe I'm a perfectionist. Maybe that's because I have a tremendous fear of failure. Where did this fear of failing come along? Maybe I can become more conscious about that. Instead of having always fear of failure, maybe I can embrace failure and just say, I'm going to learn. Because there is no failure, only feedback. Maybe I don't always have to be this perfectionist.
Yeah.
Becoming aware can help you get to the root of the issue.
Becoming aware can get you to get to the root of the issue.
Yeah, it can help you actually trace yourself back to that root and become aware of it and think, no, I want to break that habit.
Exactly.
It's not, it's masking something that it's not really me.
Yeah. So
it's not me. You can break free of it.
Yeah, break free and make sure that your habits, the ones you have, observe your habits. Maybe observe one of your habits today. And think, is it a helpful habit? Is it working for me? Do I like this habit?
Does it make you feel safe?
Yeah.
Does it make you feel in control? And if you have that habit of thinking these things, am I safe? Am I in control? Then you can make the habit of thinking to yourself, I can change.
Yeah.
And that's
change
it.
is a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Change is a beautiful.
I mean, it's something to embrace, really.
A change is as good as a rest.
Yes, exactly.
That's what our mother would always say. A change is as good as a rest. So give your brain a change.
Exactly.
Do something to unmask these habits that, the ones that you want to keep, you keep them because they're good for you and you become aware of them. But lots of those habits that you're doing unconsciously, you can decide to change them.
Yes.
And you have the power to change them.
You do have the power. We are therapists and we're here to help you. So do get in touch. And lots of love and smiles from the
English sisters.
Bye.
Bye.